Okay, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Uh, Hare Krishna. So we are very thankful to Mr. Bhakti Chattan Swami Maharaj for giving his association. And now we are having His Holiness Bhakti Prabhu Swami Maharaj. Hari Bol. So I will just like to give a brief introduction about Maharaj before starting. So His Holiness Bhakti Prabhu Swami Maharaj, born in Belgium in 1960 and met devotees in 1992, joined Radhade's temple in 96 and met His Holiness Bhakti Swami Guru Maharaj in 94. And he took his first initiation in 98 and sannyas initiation on 31st May 2015. And since then, Maharaj is serving ISKCON in various capacities and at various management level. He is teaching Bhakti Sastra and Bhakti Vaibhav courses currently as a member of Sannyas Ministry and as a member of ISKCON board for examination. So we are very fortunate to have Maharaj Association. Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Very good news that though Maharaj's health is not good, still he's so merciful. And also, very soon he's coming to India and will spend a lot of time in Ujjain. Give us association.
Hare Krishna. Amakyanatimanasya Jnansana Shlakaya Saksharan Militam Yena Tasmai Shigurave Namah Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Pastai Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namani Namaste Saraswata Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paskatyai Desatarane. So I'm very happy to be with you today, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to say a few words on Lord Nityananda. Of course, we are not qualified to speak on the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, but we make an attempt to, to, to say some words that hopefully will inspire all of us. First, I want to speak about um, the position of Lord Nityananda. And that is very nicely explained by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in the 5th chapter of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And I will start with reading a verse, text Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 5, text 7. Jaya Jaya Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jadvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktavrinam Sankarshana Karanatoya Sai Karboda Sai Sapayopi Sai Sesasas Yasyam Sakala Sanitya Mandakya Rama Sharanam Mamastu. May Shri Nityanandaram, the object of my constant remembrance, Sankarsan, Seshanaga, and the Vishnus who lie on the Karana ocean, Garbha ocean, and ocean of milk are his plenary portions and the portions of his plenary portions. So we know that Nityananda is not different than Lord Balaram. And here we have 5 forms in which he appears. Sankarshan. Sankarshan is the shelter, or is the spiritual and material energy. And Sesha is the personal servant of the Lord. Whatever incarnation, if we look at Nrsingadev, we will have the hoods of Sesha above above Lord Nrsingadev. That we see also the pictures when Vasudev was bringing after Krishna's birth was bringing Krishna to Vrindavan, then he was sheltered also by Seshanaga with all his hoods. So he's the servant and protector of the Lord, and Sankarshan is the shelter of all material and spiritual energies. And then there are three Vishnus, that the Mahavishnu, Karanodakasai Vishnu, Kabudakasai Vishnu, and Kshirodakasai Vishnu. So this is we can say that this is the identity of Lord Nityananda in a cosmic sense and beyond the cosmos, the spiritual energy also. So in this chapter, during many verses, up to verse 160, is establishing the position of Lord Nityananda. And then Krishnadas Kaviraj is start to share some experience of his own life that which clearly indicates indicates the importance of Lord Nityananda. That it tells the story, the history that one time before he went to Vrindavan, he organized the Sankirtan festival and invited a servant of Lord Nityananda, Shri Ketan Ramdas, and he was a very ecstatic devotee. He invited him at his house, and every moment you could see that Minaketan Ramdas, he was showing symptoms of ecstasy. In instant showers of tears coming from his eyes. He was shouting loudly the name of Nityananda. So he was absorbed in emotional, ecstatic love. And when all the Vaishnavas saw that, they all bowed down. So he was always in a joyful mood. He was always carrying a flute, and he was mildly slapping others with his flute. And tears would come from his eyes, and constant shower of tears were coming off Minaketan Ramdas' eyes. And there were eruptions on his body like kadamba, kadamba flowers. That it looked like that, and he would be stunned sometimes. So and when he was chanting loudly these names of Nityananda, then all the people around him, they were filled with great wonder and astonishment. But during the festival, they were doing puja, and the pujari, Gunarva Mishra, a high qualified Brahmin, when all the others were bowing down for Ramdas, he did not bow down. Because he may have thinking, I'm serving the Lord, maybe it's not appropriate, but when Minaketam saw that the Brahmin did not offer in respect, he came a bit angry, and he said, here I find the second Romarshan Sutta who did not stand to show honor when he saw Lord Balaram. Of course, Minaketan Ram, he was not proud or what. He was just seeing himself as representative of his spiritual master. And he could feel, because he was spiritually advanced, that in the heart of this Pujari, that he has no great, that he did not have great respect for Lord Nityananda. But after that, Miniketan Rami was dancing again in ecstasy. And the Brahman, the Pujari, did not become angry. He saw it as Krishna's mercy. But then, before the end, at the end of the festival, Ramdas got into a controversy with the brother of Krishnadas Kaviraj. And Krishnadas Kaviraj writes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he writes, "My brother had firm faith in Lord Chaitanya, but only a dim glimmer of faith in Lord Nityananda." So Ramdas, he knew that, and he felt unhappy in mind, and he rebuked, and Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj says, he rebuked my brother. And he said to him, "These two brothers," so is meaning Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya, "are like one body. They are identical manifestations. If you do not believe in Lord Nityananda, you will fall down." He said, "If you have faith in one but you disrespect the other, your logic is like the logic of accepting a half a hen. Half a hen, yeah. The Srila Prabhupada explained in a lecture, yes. A hen, you have the front side, you have to feed it, and at the back side the eggs come out. So one can say, I want only the back side. The front side is too expensive. So half a hen, it's not possible. It's just impossible. So therefore, and then he made a very heavy statement, Ramdas. He said, "It would be better to be an atheist by slighting both brothers than a hypocrite by believing in one and slighting the other." So an atheist, because an atheist may be an atheist, but here, out of ignorance, he may not be so offensive as in this case. So then Ramdas, in his anger, he broke his flute and he fell away. And Krishnadas Kaviraj said, "My brother fell down." So and Krishnadas Kaviraj said, this is the power of the servants of Lord Nityananda. So this is showing that to get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, we have to go to Lord Nityananda. You have the story of Raghunath Das Goswami, who was a son of a very rich family. As I remember correctly, he tried to escape many times and went to Lord Chaitanya, but Lord Chaitanya said, "You have to go back and the time will come." And then at a certain moment he escaped again and he met Lord Nityananda. And Lord Nityananda said, "You are a thief." That's interesting. He called Raghunath Das Goswami a thief. He said, because he called him a thief because you are trying to get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya directly without going to me. And then he instructed him as as a penance to organize the Panihati festival, that yogurt ship rice. We know that famous festival every year. That and by that he pleased Lord Nityananda. And then finally he could join the movement. He could join Lord Chaitanya in Jagannath Puri. That so in that way, it's we can only get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya if we please Nityananda Prabhu. That Nityananda Prabhu in the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya is it is a most ecstatic appearance, always in full bliss. That first time he met Lord Chaitanya in the house of Nandacharya. That because one morning Lord Chaitanya he asked his he asked his associates that a great personality arrived. Please bring him to me. And they were searching everywhere in Navadvip, but they could not find this personality which Lord Chaitanya was describing. That. But then Lord Chaitanya said, let's look for him. He went out and he went straight to the house of Nandacharya, because he knew that he's the Supreme Lord, he knows everything. And therefore the first time he met Lord Nityananda. And it's described in Chaitanya Charitamrita how they embraced each other in great ecstasy. Then after that, Lord Chaitanya gave Lord Nityananda the instruction to go to the people door to door and ask them, please chant Krishna's holy name, serve Krishna. And so that was the first Sankirtan mission. That and Lord Nityananda went out with Haridas Thakur, and they went and to perform the mission of Lord Chaitanya, inviting everyone to chant the holy names of the Lord. But that Haridas Thakur had a special time with Lord Nityananda going on Sankirtan, because Lord Nityananda is also known as an avadut. That an avadut, that it is, yes, because Advaita Acharya will call him later, after Lord Chaitanya has taken sannyas and they meet in Santipur. He will call him a rejected avaduta. That rejected, he said, you are an avaduta, a rejected Paramahamsa. But that was factually a glorification of Lord Nityananda. He recognized him as a Paramahamsa. That he said, you are rejected by the Brahmin community, by all these Smarta Brahmins that were not interested in devotional service. But that was merely a compliment. But when he was on Sankirtan, together with Haridas Thakur, Lord Nityananda would see Kumaris, young unmarried girls, and he would go to them and he would tell them, please, would you marry me? That and then their father would come out and and chase after Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakur, and they had to run. But of course, Haridas Thakur, Haridas Thakur was elderly and he could not run so quickly, so he got always the beating. That Haridas Thakur said sometimes Lord Nityananda would jump into the Ganga and and he would swim toward the crocodiles to for wrestling with them. Of course, we know that when they met Jagai and Madai, that two drunkards, the most fallen, that then Lord Nityananda had the idea, yes, these are the most fallen. Let us try to save them. If we can save them, that would be the glory of Lord Chaitanya. So that's not Lord Nityananda. He was thinking only about the glory of Lord Chaitanya. He is the servant. He's not different from Balaram. That is not different from Balaram, and Balaram is the first expansion of Krishna, and therefore Balaram sees himself as a servant of Lord Krishna. Nityananda saw himself only as a servant of Lord Krishna. And then of course we know the pastime of Jagai and Madai, which is a very glorious pastime, but I think you may hear that pastime today from others certainly, that that shows the glories really of the glory of Lord Nityananda as a servant of Lord Chaitanya. So Krishna Das Kaviraj, he speaks about Lord Nityananda, and we know that he got a vision of Lord Nityananda, who ordered them to go to Vrindavan. And in Vrindavan, on that he wrote Chaitanya Charitamritam, and after getting the mercy of Lord Nityananda, and after getting the blessings of Madan Mohan. And that's so beautiful also in Ujjain. The whole temple, the whole project is the mercy of Bhakti Charamaj. Bhakti Charamaj, who is the representative of Lord Nityananda, and it all manifests by the mercy of Madan Mohan. Madan Mohan, the deity, which is this Madan Mohan, which is representing the Sambandha Gyan, attracting people to Krishna consciousness. And that's a feature of Madan Mohan. It attracts us all, and therefore Ujjain became such a beautiful place by the mercy of Bhakti Charamaj and Madan Mohan. Thank you very much. My time is over. I was happy to be with you today. All glories to Lord Nityananda, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Bhakti Charamaj. Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Bhakti Goswami Maharaj. Very mercifully, he gave you auspicious time. And we're very soon looking forward to see and serve you again.
Hare Krishna.